Welcome to the Buzz on 82, the only show with a down valley view. I'm your host, Lynn Aliya. So lately, I have been getting buzzed at my favorite place in the Roaring Fork Valley, Bonfire Coffee. I go every single morning. It's in Carbondale on Main Street. I drop my kids off at school and then I go, and it is this incredible, synergetic, electric, amazing coffee shop where you get a blend of urban chic and Rocky Mountain funk. And I've been getting to do two of my favorite things, talk to people and drink coffee. And I'd like to share the second part of my series called Coffee Talk, a series of interviews I've been doing with some amazing people in the Valley. So later on the show, I have Jessica Garrow. She is a local Valley resident and she's running for CU Regents. But first, my interview when I sat down at the Bonfire to talk with Ty Jacober. He is one of the owners of Crystal River Meats. So take a look. Bonfire Coffee for a cup of coffee is Ty Jacober. He is the founder, owner?
Yeah, co-founder and CEO of Crystal River Meats.
Which is?
What we do is we raise local meats right here in the valley. Kind of have like an 80-mile radius where we raise pork, lamb, beef, and chickens.
Wow. Do you have a ranch?
So I personally don't own a ranch. We have Avalanche Ranch, which is hot springs and lodge. So we keep kind of the hobby animals there.
Right. What are hobby animals? I'm from New York, so
No, the hobby animals, just for the guests to visit with. And
right.
We have quite a few ewes, which have lambs, and so the kids love the lambs in the spring, and we keep our horses there, chickens and pigs. Yeah.
So Crystal River Meats is all farm raised. So as soon as they leave their mama's milk, they go right to grass.
Right.
Fed on grass.
So the beef and the lamb are what we call 100% grass fed and finished, meaning that they never had anything else but mother's milk and grass. And then the chickens and the pigs, they get locally grown grains because their diet requires that.
Do they eat corn? What kind of grains do they eat?
They do get some corn that is grown in Delta, and they also get fed barley and oats that we raise.
And then you can buy all of this stuff.
So primarily we're a wholesale business because that's kind of the way to distribute it here. But we do have a retail store right across the alley, 55 North 4th Street. You can come in and buy it just like any local meat shop.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
By the cut, just like the grocery store.
Oh, so I can just go in to like a butcher. Not a butcher, but like a...
We're working towards a butcher, but right now it's, case-ready packages, so it's already packaged. Yeah.
So here's my question. Are you a cowboy?
Sure, I'm a cattleman.
You're a cattleman. So do you go out? Are you doing the actual...
Oh, yeah. So
tell me everything.
It's really, the business is just comprised of my father. I have two brothers, Rio and Forrest, and myself. And we pretty much handle all of it, all the way from raising the animals to taking them to the packing plant, bringing them back, doing the sales. We recently got a new employee, Debbie Kreigel. She does our sales and delivery. And I just recently teamed up with a really kind of a neat partner to move it forward, kind of to the next step. His name's Tyler Mabius. He's co-founder and CEO of a media corporation called Adconian. It's quite large. It's the fifth largest media corporation in the world.
So they're going to make you go global?
Well, no.
But can you go global if you're organic?
So no, the focus is not global still, and
it's
that's what he
local.
loves about it. It's grounded and it's here, and he lives here,
Right.
and travels quite a bit all around. He has 750 employees at 25 offices around the world. So.
Wow.
But he's trying to transition to a more stable life. His wife grew up here with us, Rebecca Beer. So she's from the Beer family. Jeff Beer's a realtor here.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you get started? Did your whole family, did you grow up on a ranch?
So yeah, the roots really go back to southern Colorado. We were born and raised on a ranch in between Pagosa and Pagosa Springs. I mean Pagosa Springs and Ignacio. And my dad always kind of had a focus on trying to try to get meat to the local guys. He participated some in the commodity market, but tried to distribute as much as he could locally. So then we kind of transitioned a little bit away from that. But when we moved to the valley, we worked for the old Mount Sobers Hereford Ranch, the late Bob Perry. So we got right back into ranching, and I've kind of dabbled in it ever since. We then had a construction company and still do. That's kind of what supported us, but we really are ramping up the agriculture side of things. And with the whole goal, Christopher Meats, is to protect the land around here, actually. So the mission would be to conserve land in these ski towns.
So how does local agriculture?
Right, yeah.
Agriculture?
Yeah.
Sometimes my New Yorker comes out.
No, that's good. That's what it is.
How does local agriculture save the lands here?
Well, because it puts the lands into a production that we're hoping pays to keep it in that.
So that all of the money is coming back into the community.
Right, and so instead of these ranches being split up for developments, we're trying to make a way in order for the lands to actually be viable in an agriculture setting by producing local meat.
Right, so all the money that gets spent just comes back into the community.
Yeah, it does the whole trickle down.
Right, and I have some questions, because you said about 80 miles, everything's within 80 miles from here. So is that like what the organic quota is? Are you organic? Are you, what's the difference between organic?
No, so we're not organic, and the main reason we're not organic is we operate on a lot of leased ranches and also a lot on Forest Service permits. So you can't get organic status if you are on Forest Service permits, because they do use some herbicides to control noxious weeds. So what we are is natural, which means no growth hormones and no antibiotics. And then we've gone to another level where we're source verified, which means all the animals have an identification that traces right back to where their mothers were and where they're raised.
Seriously?
Yeah. And then another step that we do is for animal welfare. So it's a humane thing. And we're rated what's called level 4 on the Global Animal Partnership Network, which is actually an organization that was built by Whole Foods to monitor animal welfare.
So does that, I was raised kosher. So
Okay.
you had to do like one clean cut.
Right.
I mean, is that what?
So kosher is, I would say it's more a religious thing than it is humane thing.
Oh, really?
Although
I would always
some people would say that it's more humane.
to just do what?
So all of our lambs get processed at a plant where they is certified halal, which is the same thing almost as kosher, but along with their throats, they actually do a dagger to the heart, so they bleed a little faster.
But it's just one.
It's just fast, yeah.
I once killed a sheep with an obsidian blade.
Did you?
I did
Good
on an
job.
outdoor survival course.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's good to get, grounded and see where your meat really comes from.
It's really.
Yeah.
I will never eat lamb again, but I will eat other things. I will eat other things.
So that's not the effect that should have come from it, but no, it's the hard side of the business. I mean, there's no question.
No, I eat meat. I eat Fat Belly Burger once a week.
There you go.
Sorry, just to throw that in, because you local businesses use your meat as well.
Oh yeah, so Fat Belly, and I'm part owner of Fat Belly.
You are?
Right, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would love. Seriously, I eat Fat Belly Burger once a week.
Well, good. Yep. So that we founded that.
Can you tell us what the secret ingredient is that makes us come back all the time?
Secret ingredient's good beef.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is. Cooked the right way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Yeah, it's a good fast food burger.
Yeah. Which, for anyone who doesn't know, Fat Belly Burger is just down the street from Bonfire.
That's right.
At the end of the street.
Fits right in the 80-mile radius.
That's right. Yes, so to go back to the 80-mile radius.
80-foot radius.
Exactly.
Really, there's no regulation that sets that or anything. It's just, when you look at the ultimate vision of our company, it's quite grand. And one of the main things is to, as I mentioned, to protect this land around ski towns. And if you actually break out Colorado ski towns, and you go within an 80-mile radius around them, then you'll find a lot of these heritage and hobby ranches that are on kind of, threatened by development.
Exactly. I mean, I just came back from Telluride, for example. So you have Montrose, you have Olathe. Is that in our? That's probably in both of our 80 miles.
That's almost. Yep. Montrose would be just outside of it.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as they go, again,
Absolutely.
I'm just comparing. That you're right. It's all the ranch towns around there.
Yeah.
Are you a skier?
Oh yeah. I should say I used to be a skier.
Oh.
Yeah. No, we grew up skiing. We all raced.
Right.
Definitely.
Right.
I love skiing with my kids now.
What I was just talking with Justin Clifton, who's the executive director at Five Points Film Festival.
Oh, great, yeah.
And we were talking about like risk, and it amazes me the vision and the dedication that people who grow up in this valley or are committed to this valley have such a grander scale and understanding of the land and of the importance of preserving it and giving back as well.
I think if you have roots here, you understand your livelihood's based on the land, no matter what you're doing. If you're in the tourist business, if you're in the service business, if you're in the agriculture business, I mean, even if you're in the building business, it all bases back to the reason people come here is for the landscape. And they come here because it's beautiful. And there's a lot of places they can go, get away with people and see the wild world. And so I think if you grew up here, you understand it's priority. It's what we have. It's the resource that is here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I also want you to talk to me about Avalanche Ranch.
So yeah, Avalanche is my in-laws' place. Molly and I live there, and Molly operates it. She's the manager. And we just had a wonderful new addition, and we developed some hot springs last year. It was fun to build that instead of a house.
Was it were they natural hot springs that existed, or
No. So what we did is we drilled,
Uh-huh.
and K.O. Ogilvy, who's Molly's brother, did a geology class with the CRMS students and found vents coming under the highway, and so we decided to take the risk and drill for hot water. And
How far down did you have to drill?
well, we hit hot water at only 60 feet.
Wow.
We drilled quite a bit further just to ensure, longevity.
So does it just spring, like is it a spring? Do you tap it? I mean, how does that work?
Well, I wish I understood the geology better, but the way I understand it is there's veins of hot water throughout this particular region. I mean, the West has lots of them. And Penny Hot Springs is right up the road from us.
I just went for the first time in 20 years. I just went to Penny Hot
Penny,
Springs.
cool.
Yeah.
So it's probably the same water.
Uh-huh.
It's a vein. That water is actually coming out of the ground a lot hotter than what we hit. And that was probably just the luck of the draw of the vein that we hit.
And then do you add stuff to it?
So nope, it's 100% natural water going through there. We